Hello friends, welcome to yet another video of Political Science Plus One for English medium students. Today's chapter is liberty. Liberty is basically needed for the overall growth and development of the people. And for achieving liberty, individuals have faced great struggles. Before doing this chapter in detail, let's see what we are supposed to do in this video. This is my channel. Do subscribe it. This is about me bit, and this is the beginning of the chapter. First, what we are going to do in this chapter: the meaning, the origin, aspects, definitions, characteristics, kinds, safeguards of liberty, and mutual relationship between law and liberty. So let's begin. This is a symbol of liberty. Statue of Liberty it is called. So meaning of liberty. The word liberty is known to us all, but only a few have the full clarity of the meaning of this word. Normally people are not clear. They have vague idea about the meaning of liberty. Right now, no two persons could tell you the same meaning of liberty. For a common man, liberty means whatever one's like to do, and that is the wrong meaning. It will lead to anarchy if everybody does whatever one likes. So in true sense, it means freedom to do those actions which are essential for the development of one's personality and are not against social interest. So liberty means freedom to do those actions or activities which are essential for the development of one's personality and are not against social interests. Moving to the next origin of the word liberty. The word liberty has been derived from the Latin word liber, which means absence of restraints. It means freedom to do whatever one wants to do. Absence of restraints. Rukavat ki anhond. And according to a famous thinker, McCashney, freedom is not the absence of all restraints, rather the substitution of rational for irrational. यानी कि जो rational है वो करना irrational की जगह. That is liberty, that is freedom. If you talk about the aspects of liberty, there are two aspects of liberty: negative aspects of liberty and the positive aspects of liberty. If you talk about the negative aspects of liberty, it means absence of restraints. It also means the state should not interfere in the life of the individual. It also means the government is good. That government is good which governs the least, and it also means for the development of the individual, the principle of open competition is good, and then the principle of protection by the state is improper. So this gives negative aspects. Lasky has rightly said the man cannot do whatever he wants to do in society. Liberty is not a license to do whatever one wants to do. Nobody can be given the freedom to steal or to hit others. An important saying is, do unto others as you wish to be done by others. So negative aspects is quite restraintless, but in society we need to be rational, right? Positive aspects of liberty. Positive aspects of liberty means, right, do something that is worth doing and something that is good for others also. It means one cannot be allowed to do such things which harms the interest of society, interest of others, right? So liberty can be enjoyed within limitation, within restriction. That's why McCashny says freedom is not the absence of all restraints rather than substitution of the rational ones for the irrational. So positive aspects of liberty wants to have some restraint on full liberty and wants to have rational liberty, whereas negative aspects of liberty gives all freedom and doesn't want any restraints on liberty. Let's move to the next definitions of liberty. We have Professor Seeley. He says liberty is opposite of overgovernment. Professor Lasky says liberty is the larger maintenance of the atmosphere in which men have the opportunity to be there at their best. इस तरह का एनवायरनमेंट देना जिसमें कि आदमी अपना बेस्ट अचीव कर सके विदाउट हार्मिंग अदर्स. Gettel says liberty is a positive part of doing and enjoying those things which are worthy of enjoyment. वो काम करना जो कि वर्थफुल है. So these definitions all from reading these definitions we come to the conclusion that individual should do those activities which are good for the society as well, which doesn't harm the interest of others, cannot be allowed to do whatever one likes. So in fact it means the power of doing the things which is worth doing and which doesn't harm the others. Let's move further. The negative aspects of liberty and positive have been here shown. Okay, you can check it, comparison, right? Moving to the next, the characteristics of liberty. Liberty can be enjoyed only in the state. Nothing is possible if you are not in the state, you are in jungle. Liberty without the state or outside of the state is just a myth. Then liberty is not the absence of restraints. It is in fact possible in the society and in an environment where there is some rules to be followed. Liberty is not absolute. It means liberty has some restrictions on it. Liberty is universal. It means liberty is equally available to all without taking into consideration the color, caste, religion, etc. So it is universal. The next point is law and liberty. Liberty means absence of special privileges. It means nobody has special privileges, right? Nobody has status as per the caste, color, and social status. All are equal. Then we have rights are essential condition of liberty. We need to have some rights if we want to enjoy liberty. And the types of rights I'll tell you in the next slides. Liberty is an environment. It is sort of situation where the personality needs to develop. Liberty can neither be purchased nor be sold. So in the absence of liberty you feel suffocated. So it is sort of environment. Law and liberty are not opposite to each other. They are helping in fact each other, law and liberty. Within following law you can have liberty. If you don't follow law you will be restrained. So kinds of liberty: natural liberty, civil liberty, political liberty, economic liberty, national liberty, moral liberty, religious liberty, and personal liberty. We can discuss it in detail if you wish. So comment in the comment segment, then I will bring one more video on it. Safeguards of liberty. If you talk about the safeguards of liberty, one doesn't have special privileges, special rights in society. So absence of special rights is number one safeguard of liberty. Then constant vigilance. It means people will have to be vigilant about their rights. जागरूक होना पड़ेगा, सदैव की जागरूकता. Democratic government. Rights are possible in democratic governments only. In authoritarian form of the government, people have only a few rights. Then people should have fundamental rights. Fundamental rights, if people have, they enjoy liberties on those rights. Separation of power. This should be separation of power among the three organs of the states: legislature, executive, and judiciary. Independent judiciary. Judiciary should not be under the control of anyone. It should be independent from the influence of executive as well as legislature. Then we have these rights I talked about. So that Indian Constitution grants to the people, as well as these are very important for the freedom of the people. These rights are right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitations, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights, and right to constitutional remedies. Along with this, rule of law is important point, right, for the safeguard of liberty. Rule of law means nobody is above law, all are equal in front of law. Absence of special rights. There shouldn't be any special right to anyone. Cooperation between the people and the government. There is cooperation. Government is not authoritative. Decentralization of authority. Power of the government is distributed from top to bottom. Economic security is also one of the factors that brings safeguard to the liberty of the people. Then honest and free press leads to honest and free press also leads to the safeguard of liberty. The rule of law, it includes due process of law, transparency, predictability, stability, and enforceability, accountability. Then have well-organized political parties, political education, written constitution, desire and love for liberty. Mutual relationship between law and liberty. If we talk about law and liberty, there are always two views about it. They are opposite to each other, and they're not opposite to each other. Law and liberty are always opposite to each other. And this view has been given by different school of thoughts. They are individualist, anarchist, syndicalist, and pluralist. They believe that law and liberty are opposite to each other, as law puts restrictions on the people. On the other hand, there is another view that says law and liberty are not opposite to each other, because liberty is not the absence of restraints. We have to follow certain rules and regulations to enjoy full freedom. Without law, there will be state of anarchy. If there is no law, everybody will do whatever one wishes, and so there will be anarchy. Law are essential for liberty, and law creates essential condition for freedom also. So law limits the power of government also. So laws and liberty are not opposite to each other. So does every law protect the liberty? Does every law protect the individual? Does every law suppress the individual? Does every law suppress the individual? So though all laws are made to protect the liberty of the individual, yet it depends on the objective of the government, kinds in the form of the government, how the law is used. In the democratic regime of the government, laws are made to protect liberty. Laws are made to protect the liberty. So, in democratic regime of government, laws are made to protect the liberty. In dictatorial regimes, regime is the working of the government, types of the government, which functions in the state. The laws are made to suppress the liberty. Laws passed, if you talk about the law passed during the rule of British rule, they were to suppress the people of or suppress the liberty of the people were Raleigh Act, Vernacular Press Act, and then Public Safety Act. Indian government has also passed such laws, which though have been formed to protect internal security, yet it suppresses the liberty of the individual. These laws are MISA, PSA, POTA, etc., in which it has been noticed that many of the people have been face the suppression by these laws of the government authority, right, knowingly or non-knowingly. Conclusion: Gettel says sovereignty alone is despotism and destroys liberty, while liberty alone is anarchy and destroys sovereignty. So need is to maintain a proper balance between law and liberty. Sovereignty मीन्स प्रभु सत्ता, डेस्पोटिज्म मीन्स ज़बरदस्ती का रूल करना है. सॉवरेंटी ज़बरदस्ती से रूल करती है तो वो लोगों की फ्रीडम को ख़त्म कर देती है. एंड अगर लिबर्टी ही सबको मिल जाए और वो भी विदाउट एनी रिस्ट्रेंट, तो वो सॉवरेंटी को ख़त्म कर देती है. सो देयर इज़ नीड, ज़रूरत है कि हम मेंटेन करें एक प्रॉपर बैलेंस बिटवीन लॉ एंड लिबर्टी. सो इट वाज ऑल अबाउट लिबर्टी. दिस इज़ ट्री ऑफ लिबर्टी. And thank you. Best of luck. God bless you. Take care. Bye bye.